Hiya, I'm Hana Shahnavaz, a British-Iranian painter based in London. So my background, I did a Persian Studies BA degree at SOAS in London. That's when I first really became interested in the Persian arts, from music, painting, the poetry, literature. I actually went into Persian music, so I played the santur and the setar, traditional Persian musical instruments. And then when I graduated SOAS, I moved to Iran. I decided to continue my music full-time. So I'd never actually picked up a paintbrush before. I never did art. I wasn't really interested in painting. It was all about the music. And then, so I lived in Iran, I think, in the end, for around 6 years. I was walking the streets of Tehran one day, just randomly. Then I saw a door open in a side road, and I walked in, and there were these beautiful paintings, like these huge canvases of Persian flower and bird patterns. So in Farsi we say gul o morg, and I just fell in love with them. They captured my heart, my spirit, everything. And so then I asked, who's the painter? And she was there, luckily, the artist in the studio. And I mean, she was amazing. She was just joyful and just such a warm person. And I just said, teach me. I just, in that moment, begged her to become my teacher. And I just wanted to learn everything that I saw. It was just a room full of beauty, basically. And so she became my teacher. And she was the person who, taught me how to paint, about colour, and I picked up my first paintbrush with her. Her name's Safura Asadian, so I owe her a lot. She, was actually the beginning of my whole art career. And then I ended up going back to London, where I did my master's degree at the Prince's School of Traditional Arts. And that's the school where, wow, they just took it to a whole nother level. We learned how to make our own paints from nature, from minerals, semi-precious stones. That's where I learned miniature Persian school of painting. So I went away from the big flower and bird canvases to really refined, tiny miniature paintings. And I mean, we just had such fantastic teachers that kind of taught us how to research, go to the British Library, actually look at the old manuscripts, hold them, touch them. How did they used to paint? I started to think about which ones I was drawn to. I'm really drawn to the 15th century Persian miniatures, the earlier ones rather than such the later ones. And then, that started to kind of combine with what I learned in Iran, and all of it just ended up, coming into a style that I'm doing now. Horses are such an inspiration to me. Firstly, I'm horsey myself. I absolutely love horses, and bring joy to me. And I think that's the first thing I assume any artist would want, just to have the joy. If you've got the joy, it'll open the creative doors, and and it'll bring the stamina, and you can just go for it. And I think if you paint joyfully, it's very real. The painting becomes real, and it's not sort of so. It's not stifled. I think that's true when true creativity comes. Secondly, horses, they're just so wild. There's this kind of freedom to them, and I really want my paintings, hopefully they give this sense of freedom. And I suppose that's everything I do kind of paint. So even if it's about a princess or a prince coming together, it all does go back to the soul's journey, the spirit. And the horse is just this really raw, wild form of that. And at the same time of their wildness, they're really gentle creatures. You just have to observe them. So I like to obtain my materials in a few different ways. The first way is I like to travel to the location where that particular earth is, and forage for my materials myself. I think there's something really magical about standing on the earth, in the mountains, I don't know, in the fields, in the forest, wherever, and to first witness the whole scene, the bigger picture of, say, where that one rock is that I'm going to make paint from, to feel it, to smell it, to use all my senses. I feel like I can connect to it really deeply there, and then talk to the people, who live around it, the culture. Are there any stories behind this particular earth? I started foraging in Iran actually, in an island called Hormuz, which is the south of Iran. And it was amazing that the people, the villagers, the stories I learned. I had just such a fun time. We laughed so much, we hiked, we dug. I mean, those adventures really kind of stick in my heart, in my mind. And so then when I came back and I went through the earths and cleaned them and made paint from them, it's much more than colour now. It's not just, okay, a deep red or a brown. They've just got so many stories in them, and laughter, and oh wow, I tripped up that mountain, we all laughed at that, and I don't know, it's just silly things. It's just so much joy in it. So then that excites me, and if I'm excited, I just get creative, more and more creative, and I want to paint more. And to do the kind of paintings I do, which is really detailed, they take a long time, I need to work quite long hours. I'd say I paint around 16 hours a day. Towards exhibitions, I bump it up to 20. I mean, it is a long time, and so to sustain that, you need to be excited. So it's an exciting time coming up actually. I've just agreed to my next solo exhibition. So that will be with Pygmalion Fine Art, a relatively newish gallery in London, amazing gallery. So our exhibition will be, in discussions now, it will be between January and March. I think probably towards March now, but so that will be somewhere in central London. I'm very active on Instagram, so I'll definitely update on Instagram. I also have a website, Hana Shahnavaz.com, so I'll definitely inform about that. And then in 2020, around springtime, I'm doing a huge exhibition with a wonderful artist, Yasmin Hayat, who we just connected. She's a Syrian-British painter, and I'm not going to reveal too much, but we've got lots of magic and earth and stories of the East we're conjuring up in mind. So we're going to do a lovely collaboration there. But it's going to be a big exhibition, so we're giving a good amount of time to sort of get that in order. But for now, I'll have my own mini solo coming up in January to March.